goes up, tap control by the Spartans. Hondo got it back to Kraus. Jim Kraus on the dribble against the zone. Let's see if they're matching up with Hondo. Looks like they might be matching up with Hondo. Into the right corner to Scott Schreiner. Back up on top, Kraus. Wheels it left side, Rostein. Looks inside, can't find Hondo. Now they go cross court. Wayne Schreiner, 17-footer. Bingo for the left-hander. Wayne Schreiner, the first 2 points of the ball game, and the Spartans come out in full court pressure against the Dutchman. They trigger it ahead down the left side to Atkinson. Atkinson's pass was tipped away by Scott Schreiner, and the Spartans come away with it. For the Dutchman, ahead to Linneman. Linneman sets it up top now to Springer. Springer works against Rostein. Right side Linneman, down low Atkinson. His pass tipped away, and coming away with it was Scott Schreiner. Triggers it ahead to Hondo, 2-on-1. Hondo makes a move, lays it up and in, and he was fouled. Scott Hondo took it in, got the basket, and drew the foul. Foul, I think, will be whistled on Jamie Reverman. That is the first personal of the ball game. And Scott Hondo, who had 34 points against Painesville on Friday night, goes to the free throw line to try to complete the three-point play. Free throw bounces in, took a couple of bounces. 5-0 Spartans early on here, just under a minute played. In the backcourt against pressure, Reverman. Dumps it on the right side now to Linneman. He drives it all the way in. Shot won't go off the glass. It was short, and the rebound comes down to Wayne Schreiner. To Kraus, who triggers it ahead to Rostein, 17-footer short off the rim, and the rebound comes down to the Dutchman. They trigger it ahead to Springer down the right side, into the forecourt against Kraus. Springer now starts to bring it back up on top, and now drives the right baseline. Drove Rostein off and then dump the pass. Shot won't go by Piper, and the rebound comes down to Wayne Schreiner for the Spartans. He leaves it for Jim Kraus. Kraus across the timeline against the zone. Pushes it left side, Rostein. Down low, Hondo drives the baseline. Reverse layup, good. Nice move by Scott Hondo. He has 5. And pressure in the backcourt again by the Spartans. Triggered to head up the right side. Melrose has done a good job of breaking the pressure. Linneman, Piper to Atkinson, had to go off his knee out of bounds, and the ball belongs to the Spartans. By my count, that's turnover number 3 on the Dutchman early on in this ballgame. Spartans have yet to commit one. 6:07 remaining first quarter. It's ROCORI 7, Melrose nothing. Now up on top, Wayne Schreiner will act as the point guard. Right side, Kraus got to take it away from him as the pass was tipped, and the Dutchmen come away with it. As soon as I say it, the Spartans turn it over. Springer into the forecourt, dumps it into the right corner now for Linneman. He gets it back to Piper, 15-footer long off the rim, and Hondo goes high for the rebound. Scott Hondo can really get up off the floor. That was a big-time rebound, and he leaves it for Jimmy Kraus in the backcourt. Across the timeline. Leaves it for Schreiner up top. He goes left wing, Rostein. He fakes a three-pointer and goes back to Schreiner up top. Running 14-footer by Wayne is no good. Rebound came out to Hondo. His runner from 5 is good, and he was fouled. My, oh my, Scott Hondo knows exactly where the basket is every time he gets the ball. Pushed it down the lane on the long rebound, got the bucket, and he drew the foul on Todd Piper. That's his first, the second team foul on the Dutchman. And Melrose will take a timeout. Timeout, Dutchman. 5:29 remaining first quarter. Our score, ROCORI 9, Melrose nothing. A free throw coming for Scott Hondo. We're back in half a minute on 98 Country. Keenan with you from the ROCORI gym early on in tonight's matchup between the Melrose Dutchmen and the ROCORI Spartans. My apologies if my voice gets hoarse throughout the evening. I've been fighting a cold. Finally got the antibiotic from the doctor yesterday, so I should be okay come Thursday night. We'll struggle through this one here tonight on 98 Country. Scott Hondo at the line trying to complete the three-point play. With 5:29 remaining in the first quarter. Free throw by the right-hander is good. So the Spartans over 2 nights now are 36-38 from the free throw line, and they lead at 10-0 early on here. Three-quarter court pressure in the backcourt. Pass is tipped away by Rostein, but it comes down right in the hands of Springer. Now against the zone. Right wing it goes, Linneman. Linneman goes right corner for Piper. Triggers it back up on top for Reverman. Reverman running 14-footer won't go. Rebound came down to Pieper, and he puts it in. Excuse me, Todd Piper with the basket. 13 points for the Dutchman, and they break their scoreless drought with 5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Wayne Schreiner up on top in the forecourt now. Goes cross-court. Rothstein launches a three. Good. First three of the ball game. Pat Rothstein hits it. It's 13-2 Spartans. Again, pressure in the backcourt by ROCORI. Triggered up the right side to Piper. Atkinson's all alone under the basket. Couldn't handle the pass. Allowed the Spartans to catch up, and Hondo blocked the shot. Atkinson mishandled the pass from Piper. That allowed Hondo to get into play, and he rejected it, and the Spartans come back the other way. Right side, Rothstein fakes the three-pointer. Almost traveled as he almost dragged his foot. Left side for Krause. Up on top, Schreiner. Almost had it taken away. Back left wing, Krause fakes the three-pointer. Goes cross-court for Rothstein. Right corner, Hondo. 18-footer inside the arc. That won't go. Rebound, long one to Rothstein. 14-footer. Good. Good instincts by Pat Rothstein as he went to the rebound and hit the 14-foot J. 15-2 Spartans with 4 minutes remaining here in the first quarter. In the backcourt, Reverman against pressure. Breaks through a double team and then is fouled by Jim Krause at the top of the key. Good instincts by Jamie Reverman as he dribbled between the double team and drew the foul on Jim Krause. And so an inbound for the Dutchman. That's the first foul of the ball game on the Spartans. Springer will trigger it in. Goes backcourt with it to Linneman. Linneman picked up his dribble, needs help, and now Springer comes out to get him. Springer with the ball, goes right side to Reverman. Looks inside, can't find anybody. Back to Springer, stepped on the arc. 19-footer on the way, won't go. Rebound comes to Reverman. His shot was short, but he was fouled on the rebound, I believe by Hondo. No, it's going to go the other way. They're going to call Reverman for the foul on Hondo on the rebound. So that's 2 on Reverman. A couple of changes now for Melrose. Into the ballgame, Scott Burscheid along with Dave Heitkirchen. And sitting down will be Atkinson. And also taking a seat on the bench will be Scott Springer. Wayne Schreiner brings it across the timeline on the dribble. Starts it down the lane. Stops. Possum 14. Left-hander shot won't go. Scott Schreiner, his cousin, got the rebound underneath. Puts it up and in, and he was fouled. Good offensive board by the Spartans already in this ballgame. Scott Schreiner got the rebound and went back up strong, got the bucket, and drew the foul. He'll get a shot at the three-point play. Heitkirchen, I believe, picked up the foul. That is his first and the 4th team foul on the Dutchman. Scott Schreiner has a chance to complete a three-point play with 3:33 remaining in the first quarter. Free throw up and good. Again, the Spartans perfect from the free throw line, and they lead at 18-2 here with 3.5 remaining first quarter. Burscheid had his pass stolen away by Hondo. Hondo 2-on-1 with Krause. Stops. 5-footer off the glass is good. Scott Hondo with 10 points already. 20-2 Spartans with 3:15 remaining in the first quarter. Burscheid down the lane in the land of the Giants. Dumps it left side. Piper. 10-footer from the baseline. Good. Todd Piper has 4. And it's 20-4 Spartans. Schreiner across the timeline against the zone. It goes right side to Krause. Into the key area, Hondo. Turnaround from 13 is too long, and the rebound comes down on the far side to Linneman. Linneman into the forecourt for the Dutchman. Works against Jim Krause. Up on top to Burscheid. Burscheid looks inside. Goes Heitkirchen. Heitkirchen in the high post. Has to get out of the lane. Now he triggers it out to Piper, who almost threw it over the head of Burscheid. Now right side, Reverman. Two-pointer on the way, won't go, and the rebound comes down to Joe Hemish, who's in the ballgame for the Spartans. Long pass down court and a foul. And trying to receive the pass was Wayne Schreiner. Joe Hemish is into the ballgame for Pat Rothstein, by the way. And the foul was committed by Scott Burscheid, his first, 5th on the Dutchman. Jason Terway checks in now for the Dutchman, and sitting down for a rest will be Todd Piper. Inbound for the Spartans underneath the basket. Jim Krause will handle the duties. Lob pass for Hondo, tipped in. What a beautiful play. Scott Hondo has a dozen early on here in the ballgame. 22-4 Spartans with 2:20 remaining first quarter. Now Melrose comes ahead. Linneman with it on the left wing. Working against the Spartan zone. Up top, Burscheid. Burscheid goes right wing, Reverman. Reverman drives the baseline. Can't beat Hondo. Brings it back out. Up to Burscheid. Goes left wing now to Linneman. Linneman dumps it off inside, and a foul on the shot. Terway came open. A good feed by Reverman, and Tearaway was fouled as he shot. Shot wouldn't go. They'll go to the free throw line for 2. Drew the foul on Scott Schreiner. That is Scott's first second-team foul for the Spartans. Melrose goes to the free throw line for the first time in the ball game in the person of Jason Tearaway, a 6'2" senior. Free throw is good. So the two teams collectively have shot 4 free throws in the ball game and not missed one, as Pat Rothstein checks in now for Jim Krause for the Spartans. Second throw is up, and that one also rolls in. Front rim, back rim, and down. 22-6. Spartans on top. Schreiner on the dribble against the zone. Wayne Schreiner up top. Stops, goes cross court. Rothstein launches a 3, short off the rim. Rebound, Hemish in the lane, and he gets it out to Wayne Schreiner. Joe Hemish, again, good instincts, got the rebound and dumped it out. Schreiner will reset. Right side Rothstein, dribbles to the key, goes cross court to Handel. Handel tries to put a move on, goes cross court to Hemish, but the pass was tipped away. Out of bounds by the Dutchman. It belongs to the Spartans. 1:35 remaining first quarter, 22-6 ROCORI, as the Spartans continue to score a lot of points. Wayne Schreiner will handle the inbound for the Spartans underneath the basket to Rothstein in the corner. Pat takes one dribble and brings it up on top to Scott Handel, who will leave it for Wayne Schreiner. Schreiner will set the offense against the zone. Goes left wing Rothstein, fakes a three-pointer, back to Schreiner. He fakes a three-pointer, starts to drive, stops. 15-footer was an air ball, and it went off the Handel out of bounds. The ball belongs to Melrose. Scott Rademacher checks in now for the Dutchman, and sitting down to take a rest will be Tom Linneman. Burscheid controls at the timeline for the Dutchman. Goes on the right wing now to Rademacher. Rademacher brings it out on the dribble. Up high to Heitgerken. His 15-footer won't go. Battle for the rebound underneath, and Tearaway came away with it and was fouled on the putback. A couple of good, strong moves underneath by Jason Tearaway, and he'll get a couple free throws again. As Josh Lindquist now will check into the ball game, replacing Pat Rothstein for the Spartans. The foul was on Wayne Schreiner. That is his first and the third team foul on the Spartans. And at the line to shoot 2 will be Jason Tearaway. Free throw good. He's a perfect 3 of 3. 22-7 Spartans with 1:04 remaining first quarter. Second free throw is also good. 22-8. As Josh Lindquist brings it into the forecourt, working up on top. Burscheid pops out on him. Lindquist still on the dribble. Now picks it up. His pass is tipped out of bounds. As stepping into the passing lane between the ball and Wayne Schreiner was Jason Tearaway. He knocked it out of bounds, and the ball belongs to the Spartans on the near sideline in the forecourt. Triggered into Lindquist. Josh works up on top. Now leaves it up on top for Handel. Back to Lindquist. 45 seconds remaining. Lindquist up on top. Picks up his dribble. Now goes left wing Hemish. Cross court Schreiner. Wayne 3 on the way. Short of everything, and the rebound underneath is taken by the Dutchman. They push it ahead. Tearaway ahead to Piper. Piper launches a 15-footer off the side of the backboard, and the rebound comes down to Scott Schreiner. 25 remaining in the quarter. Josh Lindquist. Left side Handel. Handel drives it down the paint. Running 12-footer. Rolls off. Rebound battled for, and Scott Schreiner went over the back of Tearaway. That's going to be 2 on Scott, and the 4th team foul of the half on the Spartans. It'll be an inbound for the Dutchman in the backcourt. Now Jim Krause will check in now, replacing Wayne Schreiner. Replacing Joe Hemish. And Doug Sherman will check in for Wayne Schreiner. 17.6 seconds remaining in the first quarter. It's ROCORI 22 and Melrose 8. Burscheid in the backcourt. Met by Lindquist at the timeline. Burscheid up top. Goes right wing now for Reverman. Reverman drives against Sherman. Runner is good, and he was fouled by Sherman. Good, strong move by Jamie Reverman as he drove the baseline on Doug Sherman. Got the bucket and drew the foul. That's the first on Sherman, the 5th team foul of the half now on the Spartans. Checking back in will be Jason Tearaway, and sitting down for a rest will be Todd Piper. with just 7 seconds remaining, 7.9 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. Trying to complete the three-point play is Jamie Reverman. Free throw good. So it's 22-11. Spartans with 7 seconds and counting. Lindquist, not to the timeline yet, now crosses it with 3 all the way down. Runner from 12, won't go. Rebound tapped up and count by Doug Sherman. A little bit of controversy. Melrose says no, ROCORI says yes, the officials say yes. Doug Sherman's tap at the buzzer is good. We've reached the end of the first quarter. Our score, ROCORI 24, Melrose 11, and we're back in 30 seconds here on 98 Country. Quarter for the ROCORI Spartans. They scored 19 against Gainesville on Friday night in the first quarter. Tonight, 24 points, led by 12 by Scott Hondel, 5 for Pat Rostein, 3 for Scott Schreiner, and 2 apiece for Wayne Schreiner. They lead Melrose 24-11. The Dutchman got 4 points apiece from Todd Piper and Jason Tearaway, and 3 from Jamie Reverman. As we open play here in the second quarter, the ball will belong to the Dutchman on the alternate possession. For Melrose, Russell Atkinson, Dave Heitgerken are on the floor along with Tom Linneman, Scott Springer, and Jamie Reverman. We'll pick up the Spartans in just a moment as we're underway. Up on top is Springer. Springer working against Josh Lindquist up on top. Right side Linneman looks inside over the top of Jim Krause. Dribbles, now picks it up. Top of the key, it goes to Heitgerken. Heitgerken goes to the high post to Reverman. Drives the baseline up and in. Jamie Reverman, another good strong move, will get another opportunity at a three-point play as he was fouled as he drove it down the lane, put the bucket in. Scott Schreiner picked up his 3rd personal of the ball game, so he'll have to sit down now, and his cousin Wayne will check in for him. And at the line, trying to complete his 2nd three-point play of the ball game is Jamie Reverman. Free throw good. So the Dutchman close to within 10, and now a steal, and Reverman on the layup doesn't go, but he's fouled. A steal in the backcourt by the Dutchman, and then Reverman got the feed and was fouled. Reverman will be at the line to shoot 2. That puts ROCORI over the limit, too. Personal on Josh Lindquist, his first. Free throw good. Neither team has missed a free throw so far in this ball game. 7:37 remaining in the first half. Jamie Reverman with 7 points. This free throw rolls in. He has 8. The Dutchmen have closed to within 8, and they put pressure on again in the backcourt. Lindquist breaks it this time, pushes the ball up, stops in the paint, dumps it right side Sherman, back to Lindquist. Goes low post Sherman, had it tipped away by Atkinson, and the Dutchmen come away with the ball. And it goes to Heitgerken, layup good. Good fast break. And now a warning on Melrose as they touched the ball after it came through the basket. But a good fast break basket gave Heitgerken's first 2 points, and it's 24-18. The Spartans led this game by as many as 18 at 20-2, and then again at 22-4. Now just a 6-point lead, 24-18. Down the lane, Lindquist, and he carried the ball. Josh Lindquist turned it over. So another turnover on the Spartans. Joe Hemish checks back in for ROCORI. He'll replace Doug Sherman. So the Spartans have Krause, Lindquist, Sherman, Wayne Schreiner, and Hondel on the floor. Springer, right side Reverman, looks down low to Atkinson, turn around, rolls off, rebound battled for Heitgerken, had a block by Krause, out of bounds. Jim Krause got the block from behind on Heitgerken, comes out all smiles. The ball belongs to Melrose underneath the basket with 6:54 remaining. Springer, three-pointer on the way on the inbound, won't go, and a backside rebound by Joe Hemish. Pushes it up the floor, ahead to Schreiner, layup won't go. And the Dutchmen come away with the rebound. They trigger it ahead down the left side. Linneman takes it to the bucket and drew the foul on Honda. The ROCORI faithful don't like that call. Scott Hondo whistled for the foul on the drive by Tom Linneman, and he'll go to the line for 2 free throws. Chance to close the ROCORI gap, which was once 18 to 4 points. Linneman, a 6'2" sophomore. Free throw rolls off. That's the first missed free throw by either ball club in this ball game. That was the 9th attempt by the Dutchman. Second one is good. First point of the ball game for Tom Linneman. And again, pressure in the backcourt by the Dutchman as Linneman hounds Lindquist into the forecourt on the dribble. Ping pong, left, right, between the legs. Goes left side, Hemish. 18-footer, good. Joe Hemish. First 2 points of the ball game. He had a dozen against Janesville. 26-19 Spartans. Hondo steals a long pass. 3-on-2. Hondo drives it in. Layup good, and he was fouled. Scott Hondo went up with all kinds of confidence. Put it in, and he'll get an opportunity at the three-point play. That's 14 points in the ball game for Hondo. He'll be at the line trying to make it 15 and expand the Spartan lead again to 10. It's 28-19 with 6:17 remaining in the half. Free throw no good off the back rim. That's pushing it ahead now are the Dutchmen on the rebound. Right side, Reverman. Excuse me, this is Linneman on the right side. Goes down low to Heitgerken. Now Linneman on the dribble past Krause. Down the paint, feed Atkinson, and he had it taken away by Hemish. And then Joe stepped on the baseline out of bounds, and the ball goes back over to the Dutchman. Nice defensive play by Joe Hemish, but he stepped on the baseline. Now checking in for the Dutchman is Todd Piper, and he will replace Dave Heitgerken, who's done a pretty good job off the bench for the Dutchman. Inbound for Melrose underneath the basket. Triggered into Piper, layup good. Good play, and Piper got the bunny. 6 points for Todd Piper. Ahead too far for Wayne Schreiner, out of bounds. A turnover on the Spartans, and Melrose will come back the other way. They tried to buzz Pat Rothstein into the game, but they were already back under play. Springer into the forecourt. High post Atkinson. Left side for Linneman, 3 on the way. That's long off the rim, and the backside rebound to Joe Hemish for the Spartans. Leaves it for Krause. Krause into the forecourt. Jim Krause on the dribble. Goes left side now Lindquist. Drives it into the paint. Tried to get it to Krause, but it was behind him. Stolen by the Dutchman. Coming down to Florence Reverman, and he had it taken away by Wayne Schreiner. Ahead to Krause. Lob pass. Hondo is too long. Rebound Hemish. His shot won't go. And the rebound loose on the floor. Battled for last touch by the Dutchman out of bounds. It will belong to the Spartans. Wild battle in the near corner for the basketball. And it was last touched by Melrose, and so it goes over to the Spartans. As Josh Lindquist will sit down now, and Pat Rothstein will replace him. Krause triggers it in now to Hemish. Back to Krause on the right wing. He'll bring it up top and reset for the Spartans. And he double dribble. Put both hands on the basketball. He knew it right away, and the official's whistle went immediately. Turnover on ROCORI, a backcourt inbounds for the Dutchman rather. With 5:19 remaining in the first half. Springer against the zone. Right side Linneman. Atkinson high post. Back to Springer. On the left side to Tearway. Tearway back up on top Springer. Now down low, Tearway. His shot was goaltended by Hondo. Scott blocked it off the backboard. Tearway will be credited with 2. He has 6 in the ball game, and it's a 5-point Spartan lead at 28-23. Pressure in the backcourt now by the Dutchman. Wayne Schreiner will inbound, gets it into Rothstein. He fakes a pass and then dribbles into the forecourt. Rothstein up on top, sets the offense. Right side Hemish, fakes a 17-footer, gives it to Wayne Schreiner on the right wing. Drives it into the paint, 12-foot fall away, good. Wayne Schreiner, 4 points in the ballgame, 30-23 Spartans. As they apply about 3/4 court pressure, now they back up to the timeline, and Springer will come across. Springer goes cross court for Tearway. Back to Springer. Left side it goes. to Linneman. Linneman goes into the corner to Piper. Now back to Linneman to Piper as they play catch. Low post Atkinson, back to Piper. Makes the three-pointer. His up-top pass is stolen away by Rothstein. Rothstein pushes it down the floor, but now back out because the Spartans didn't have the numbers. Krause will fire a three. That won't go. Rebound battled for, loose on the floor, and finally Joe Hemish comes away with it. His cross-court pass stolen away, but it was tipped right into the hands of Honda. Reverse layup, good. Scott Honda with the garbage bucket has 16, and it's 32-23 Spartans. Long pass into the right corner for Linneman. Drives it into the paint. Layup good. Good, strong left-handed layup by Tom Linneman. He has 3 points. Pressure in the backcourt now by the Dutchman. Krause, and he was fouled by Springer. Scott Springer tried to slap the ball away, picked up a personal foul. That is 6 personals on the Dutchman, so it will be an inbound, I believe, for the Spartans. Changes now for the Dutchman. That will be the 7th personal, by the way, in the half on Melrose. So at the line to shoot the bonus will be Jim Krause. Free throw, good. So Jim will get the bonus, his first point of the ball game. Into the ball game for the first time for the Dutchman is Tim Dingman. He's a senior. Free throw by Krause, no good, but it was tipped up and in. Scott Hondo, I believe, got the tip. We'll credit Hondo with the bucket. Melrose back the other way, and a foul by Wayne Schreiner on Todd Piper, who was shooting the 15-footer from the corner. They did credit the basket on the tip to Scott Hondo. Probably the only guy who could get up that high on the floor, so that's probably a pretty easy call. 18 points for Hondo. Back at the other end now. At the line to shoot 2 will be Todd Piper, who has 6 points in the ball game, now 7. And he'll get one more. 35-26 ROCORI. 3:32 remaining first half. Second free throw is also good. And again, full court pressure now by the Dutchman. Krause tries to trigger it in trouble, may have to call a timeout. Gets it into Rothstein, but it's off his hands, picked up by Joe Hemish. Ahead to Hondo, has to chase it into the corner. And Scott will reset, back up on top to Jim Krause. Krause goes right side to Rothstein. Rothstein up on top, Wayne Schreiner. Schreiner drives it down the paint, stops, pops from 14, won't go. Rebound Hemish, and he was fouled by Atkins. Joe Hemish with the good offensive board drew the foul on Russell Atkinson. That is Atkinson's second. And at the line to shoot 1 and 1 will be Joe Hemish. But checking back into the ball game now is Dave Heitkirk, and he'll replace Russell Atkinson. Hemish with a field goal in the ball game, misses the first free throw, and the rebound comes down to the Dutchman. Berscheid, head up, coming down left side. Dumps it into the corner to Piper. Back to Berscheid, right side Tearaway. Dingman in the corner. Launches a 3, long off the rim, and the rebound comes down to Wayne Schreiner on the backside. Leaves it for Jim Krause. Under 3 minutes remaining in the half. Krause, trying to go coast to coast, was fouled on the drive before the shot by Berscheid. Even though he did take the shot, he was fouled by Berscheid out on the floor. That is Berscheid's second. And at the line to shoot 1 and 1 will be Jim Krause. You're listening to high school basketball on 98 Country. WWJO St. Cloud, 98.1 FM for all of mid-Minnesota. Our producer tonight is Janine Zeezer. I'm Emmett Keenan. Jim Krause's first free throw is good, as is his second one. 3 points for Jim, and the Spartans lead it by 10. 37-27 as they apply pressure in the backcourt. Berscheid ahead to Dingman, couldn't handle the pass, and the Spartans come back 3 on 2. Hondo breaks it down the middle, dumps it off to Krause, layup good. Boy, when you can score like Scott Hondo and pass like that, that's a package. Great feed to Jim Krause for the layup. Dutchman back the other way. Up on top, Berscheid. Left wing it goes to Tim Dingman. Back up to Berscheid. Berscheid works against a very aggressive zone for the Spartans. Low post, Heitkirk, reverse layup, blocked from behind by Schreiner, and Wayne came away with the rebound. Krause pushes it up the floor. Jim Krause tried to feed it to Hemish. It was off his hands, out of bounds. And it will belong to Melrose, as Jim might have gotten just a touch too cute there. and caught Joe Hemish by surprise. An inbound for the Dutchman in the backcourt. As changes now back in the ballgame for Melrose is Tom Linneman. As they inbound against about three-quarter court pressure by the Spartans. Linneman will work against Krause. Now bounces it into the forecourt to Burscheid with 2 minutes exactly remaining in the half. Left wing Linneman drives the baseline, dumps it back out to Heitkirten, farther out to Burscheid. Now left side, Linneman launches a three short off the rim. Backside rebound battled for, and Joe Hemish comes away with it. Ahead to Hondel. Hondel stops on the dribble, dumps it out on top to Jim Krause, who will set the offense. Right side Rothstein. High post Hondel. Turnaround fade away from 13 is nothing but net. Scott Hondel, 20 first half points, 41-27 ROCORI. Burscheid picked up his dribble in the backcourt and then threw it away down the sideline on the far side. So the ball goes over to the Spartans as they pressure a turnover. 1:25 remaining in the half. Jim Krause, very leisurely across the timeline. Dumps it on the right side now to Rothstein. Rothstein's pass was tipped away, but Hondel chased it down. Scott Stouts up on top. Right side Rothstein, 17-footer, counted. Pat Rothstein with the 17-foot J has 7, and it's 43-27 Spartans with a minute remaining in the half. Ahead into the forecourt. Now Linneman drives it down the paint. Left-handed layup too hard, and Hondel came away with a rebound for the Spartans. Hondel pushes it up floor, stops, and oh, he may have turned an ankle. No, he's okay. Traveled with the ball. Boy, that looked dangerous as his ankle rolled underneath him, but he gets up okay. Just lost his footing, and he'll sit down now, presumably for the rest of the half, as Doug Sherman will check in for him. 51.7 seconds remaining in the first half. 43-27 ROCORI. Scott Hondel already with 20 points in the ballgame. On the right wing now, Tearway back up on top to Rademacher, who's in the ballgame for the Dutchman. Right wing Piper. His return pass to Rademacher was also almost stole by Rothstein. Now Linneman, left wing, baseline Tearway, wraparound pass inside and a foul as he tried to get it to Heitkirten, but Hemish committed the foul. That is the first on Joe Hemish, and at the line to shoot 1-and-1 will be Dave Heitkirten. Off the bench as the sixth man, he has a field goal in the ball game for 2 points. Takes a couple of dribbles, launches a high arcing shot that's good. He'll get the bonus with 32.4 seconds remaining in the half. Second free throw, good. And again, pressure in the backcourt by the Spartans. Rothstein will leave it for Krause, who will dribble it up. Krause in a double team, dribbles to the left, trying to dribble out of it. Has to hurry or he's going to get a 10-second. Just barely gets it into the forecourt. Krause still on the dribble, 20 seconds. Right wing Rothstein puts it on the floor a couple of times with the left hand to the key area and then leaves it for Hemish. Hemish up top, down to 11 seconds remaining in the half. Rothstein will start the rotation now with 8. Rothstein almost lost the dribble. Down to 5 seconds, starts it down the paint. Dumps the right side. Schreiner for 3. Good. Wayne Schreiner at the buzzer with the 3. Boy, I'll tell you what, your heart goes pitter-pat. You think they're not going to get it off, but Schreiner hit the 3 at the buzzer. And we've reached halftime with the score with ROCORI 46, Melrose 29. And we'll be back to talk about it in 90 seconds here on 98 Country. Okay, that's fine. You're going to go a minute or a minute 45 then? That's cool. And then the next break I take, you can play the halftime. Surprising thing is that he missed a free throw in the first half. The Spartans have not been accustomed to that early on this season. 7 points in the first half for Wayne Schreiner, including that 3 at the buzzer to end the half. Also 7 for Pat Rothstein, who had a 3 early on. 5 first half points for Jim Krause, including 3 of 4 from the charity stripe. 3 for Scott Schreiner, a 3-point play in the first quarter, and 2 each for Joe Hemish and Doug Sherman. Spartans were 6 of 9 from the free throw line. They turned the ball over 9 times in the first half. The Dutchmen just couldn't seem to get on track offensively, although they did push back within 6 at 24-18. They were led by Jamie Reverman and Todd Piper, who each had 8 points. Piper had 6 field goals and was 2 of 2 from the free throw line. For Reverman, he had 2 field goals and was 4 of 4 from the stripe. 6 points for Jason Tearaway, a field goal, and 4 of 4 from the line. 4 points for Dave Heitkirchen in the first half, and 3 for Tom Linneman. Interesting, we talked about the fact of how well the Spartans shot free throws last week. 15 of 16 in the first half, 34 of 36 in the ball game against Painesville. Melrose equally as hot from the free throw line. They are 13 of 14 in the ball game. And that would sound like they've shot an awful lot of free throws and that the Spartans may be in foul trouble. But a lot of the fouls on the Spartans were of the shooting variety. The Dutchmen did a good job of forcing the play in the lane, and the only person really in foul trouble is Scott Schreiner with 3 personals. Nobody else has more than 1 for the Spartans. Jamie Reverman, Russell Atkinson, and Scott Burscheid, each with 2 personals for the Dutchmen. Again, our score at halftime is ROCORI 46 and Melrose 29. Our halftime show is being brought to you by Stewart Cabinets, the Southside Truck Stop in Richmond, and the State Bank in Richmond. We'll come back with more halftime exchange out there for Melrose. We'll pick that up as we go here. Kraus up top to Wayne Schreiner, left side, back to Kraus. Right side, Rostein against the zone. Scott Schreiner in the right corner, back to Rostein, launches a 3. No, it wouldn't go. It rimmed in and out. And the rebound to the Dutchman, Linneman, leaves it in the backcourt for Springer. Left side to Reverman. His 18-footer won't go, and Hondel went over the back of Piper underneath. Scott picks up the personal on the rebound. First foul of the half on either team. Second personal on Hondel. And an inbound for the Dutchmen underneath their own bucket. Springer, Linneman, Reverman, Piper, I keep doing that. Piper, and also in the ballgame, Heitkirchen for the Dutchmen to start the half. Left side, Linneman drives the baseline. Pass was tipped away, but it went right into Heitkirchen's hands, and he hits the layup. Dave Heitkirchen has 6. The Dutchmen have the first points of the second half. It's 46-31 Spartans. Kraus, against pressure, is fouled in the backcourt by Reverman. Reverman on Jim Kraus's arm. That is his 3rd personal. And the first of the half on the Dutchman. And Jason Tearaway quickly will come into the ball game, replacing Jamie Reverman, who will have to sit down with the 3 personals. An inbound now as Schreiner in the backcourt gets it to Kraus. It's like a 2-1-2 zone with a lot of pressure on Hondel. Right side, Rostein. Back to Kraus. High post, Schreiner. Turnaround by Wayne is hard. Rebound, Scott Schreiner off the glass and in. Scott Schreiner with the offensive board, and the putback has 5. 48-31 Spartans. Dutchmen break the pressure. Ahead into the forecourt, Linneman. Linneman dribbles between his legs, now leaves it up on top for Springer. Right side, Tearaway. Back to Springer. Right side, Piper. 15-footer won't go, and the rebound to Scott Schreiner. Triggers it ahead to Hondel. Hondel on the break. Layup good. Thought it might be showtime, but Hondel just put it off the glass and in. 22 for Scott. Back come the Dutchmen quickly now. Linneman, right corner for Piper. Up top, Springer. On the dribble, a couple of times, backs it out between the circles. Left side, Linneman. High post, Heitkirchen. Now to Springer. Right wing, Tearaway. Back up to Springer. Goes to the left wing. Now down to the low post. Coming out on the dribble is Tearaway. Piper. They swing it to the right side to Linneman. 3 on the way. Good. Tom Linneman hits a 3. 50-34. Long lead pass ahead. Rostein. Layup good, and he was fouled. What a beautiful lead pass by Jim Kraus, and a layup by Pat Rostein, and the foul. 9 points for Rostein. Personal foul will go against Todd Piper. That will be his second team foul of the half on the Dutchman. And at the line trying to complete the 3-point play will be Pat Rostein. Free throw good. 10 points for Rostein. 53-34 Spartans with just under 6 minutes remaining third quarter. Token pressure in the backcourt. Pass is tipped away by the Spartans, but it comes right back into the hands of the Dutchman. Linneman to the right wing. Back up on top to Springer. Goes left side Piper, back to Springer as they move it around the perimeter. Right side to Tearaway. Back to Springer, left side, Linneman, 3 on the way. That's good. 2 in a row for Tom Linneman. He has 9 points. That's the way the Dutchman will have to get back in via the tray. Schreiner dribbles it down the lane, dumps it off to Handel. Had the ball tipped away as he went up, and the ball comes away to the Dutchman. Lead pass, Linneman all alone up and in. Nice feed by Springer. Tom Linneman has 11 points, 8 here in the second half, 14 points Spartan lead with 5:10 remaining third quarter. Kraus down the paint, had it taken away from him, but the ball came loose to Schreiner, who got the garbage bucket. Scott Schreiner, good reactions, lays it in. He has 7, 55-39 Spartans. In the backcourt, now ahead it comes to Linneman. Linneman down the paint, pass tipped away by Wayne Schreiner, out of bounds. It will belong to the Dutchman. Joe Hemish will check back in now for the Spartans. He will replace Wayne Schreiner. 4:49 remaining third quarter, 55-39 Spartans on top. They led it 46-29 at halftime. Pass from Heitkirchen is tipped away by Hemish out of bounds. The Dutchman will retain possession in the forecourt. They're inbounded in the near corner. Springer, pass is too far for Heitkirchen, taken away by Kraus. 2-on-1, Rothstein. Kraus fakes a pass, layup no good. Rebound, Scott Schreiner up and in. Schreiner has been really tough on the offensive boards. He has 9. 57-39, Spartans lead. Right wing, Linneman pushes it further down the right side to Piper. Baseline pass to Heitkirchen. He missed the bunny, and the rebound comes down to Scott Schreiner. He leaves it for Kraus. Kraus across the timeline. Right side, Rothstein. Back to Kraus. Puts it on the floor a couple times. Dumps it left side, Hemish. 18-footer won't go, but he was fouled by a running Tom Linneman. Joe Hemish stepped just inside the arc to take the 18-footer and was hit on the wrist by a flying Tom Linneman. Scott Springer will sit down now as Scott Burscheid comes into the ballgame. There are 3 young men named Scott on this Melrose ball club. Hemish's first free throw is good. For Linneman, that was his first personal and the 3rd team foul on the Dutchman. As Hemish hits both free throws, he has 4 in the ballgame. And the Spartans pressure a little bit in the backcourt, leading by 20. Linneman down the lane, pass was tipped away. Handel comes away with it. 2-on-1 with Kraus. Handel behind the back, Kraus. Layup was blocked. What a pass by Scott Handel, though. And the Dutchman come back the other way. Linneman, right side, Piper. 15-footer from the baseline, good. Todd Piper has 10. What a pass by Scott Handel on the other end, but Jimmy Kraus had the layup blocked from behind. Handel, turn around on the baseline, rolls off, rebound, battled for, and a foul underneath on Scott Schreiner. And that is 4 personals on Scott, as he was battling for the offensive board and picked up the personal. Wayne Schreiner will check back into the ballgame now, and he will replace Pat Rothstein. No, he'll replace Jim Kraus, excuse me. Russell Atkinson in for Melrose, replacing Dave Heitkirchen. Melrose inbounds in the backcourt. Against pressure, Linneman pushes it up quickly down the left side. Met by Handel at the hash mark and backs it out. Burscheid, left side Linneman. Left corner Piper, back up top Burscheid. Launches a 3, nothing but air, and the rebound out of bounds. Burscheid missed everything out of bounds, and the Spartans will control in the backcourt. Wayne Schreiner waits for the pressure to clear out and leaves it in the backcourt for Rothstein, who crosses the timeline. Pat working up top. Right side, Wayne Schreiner. Pass tipped away by Burscheid. Ball loose in the lane, and finally coming away with it is Linneman. He'll leave it for Burscheid. Turnover Spartan. Linneman, right wing. Down low, Piper, 17-footer, good. He can score, and he's starting to get hot. 12 points for Todd Piper. 59-43 Spartans. Under 3 minutes remaining third quarter. This one is a long way from over with. Left wing, Scott Handel. Cross-court, Hemish, 18-footer. Long off the rim. Rebound, Scott Schreiner, and then he was fouled from behind by Tearaway. Jason Tearaway with the foul, his first. And again, a good offensive board by Scott Schreiner, as the Dutchmen pick up their 4th foul of the half. Doug Sherman will check in for the Spartans. And Tim Dingman will check in for Melrose as Scott Schreiner sits down, as does Tom Linneman. Inbound for the Spartans underneath the basket. Up top it comes to Sherman. Now Rothstein. High post Schreiner, 16-footer, good. Wayne Schreiner with the left-handed cut shot from 16 has 9. 61-43 Spartans. Right wing Tearaway. His pass was tipped away by Hemish, but it went to Piper, who feeds Atkinson for the layup. Russell Atkinson, his first 2 points of the ballgame, on a good look by Todd Piper. 61-46, 2:15 remaining, third quarter. Hemish, up top Rothstein, back to Hemish, 3 on the way off the back rim, and the rebound comes down on the far side to Tearaway. His pass ahead for Burscheid too far, but Burscheid hustled to save it in the forecourt. Good hustle by Scott Burscheid, and he controls up top. Left side Tearaway, left corner Piper. Back to Tearaway and back to Burscheid. Burscheid will set the offense with instructions from Darrell Oj. Dingman, right side. Tearaway, back to Dingman up top. Launches a 3, count it. Tim Dingman off the bench with the 3 makes it 61-48. A 13-point Spartan lead with 1:35 remaining, third quarter. Hondo, left wing, drives it down the paint. Dumps it back to Rothstein, fake the 3, put the dribble down. Now back to Hondo, 3 on the way. Short off the rim, rebound battled for. Saved by Hemish to Sherman for 2. What a play by Joe Hemish, and Sherman got the bucket. 4 points for the big 6'6" senior Doug Sherman. 63-48 Spartans. High post pass stolen away by Rothstein. Rothstein 1-on-2, but he drives it in and lays it good. Pat Rothstein has a dozen. 65-48 Spartans, just that quickly. Rothstein did it all. Stole it in the high post and drove it down against 2 Dutchmen and laid it in. Burscheid up on top against the zone. Down low, Piper, turn around short off the rim. Rebound battled for. Piper got it back. Putback is blocked by Sherman, but Doug picked up the foul. Foul on Doug Sherman on Piper's putback is Doug's second and the second team foul only on the Spartans this half, with only 45 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Tom Linneman will check into the ballgame, replacing Jason Tearaway. And also checking back in will be Dave Heitgerken, but he's coming into the ball game for the shooter, Todd Piper. Free throw no good. Piper will get one more opportunity. He has a dozen points in the ball game, make it 13. Now he'll sit down for a rest. Dave Heitgerken will replace him. 45 seconds exactly remaining in the third quarter. 65-49 ROCORI. Pat Rothstein will take his time coming into the forecourt. Now crosses the line. Right wing Hemish, back up on top of Rothstein. Left side Hondo, long 3 on the way, won't go. In the crotch of the rim, and Burscheid comes away with the rebound. Half a minute remaining. Left side Linneman drives it down the paint, dumps it off to Atkinson. Turn around, too hard, rolls off, and Hondo comes away with the rebound. Spartans control with 18 remaining. Rothstein, right side Hemish, driving layup, won't go. Lots of body contact. No call, and the rebound comes down to Heitgerken. 10 seconds remaining as he pushes at forecourt. Burscheid with 6 on the clock. Down to 4 on the clock. Burscheid down the lane, tried to dump it off. Ball was tipped away, and time will expire before the Dutchman could get a shot off. End of the third quarter. It's ROCORI 65, Melrose 49. Back in 1 minute on 98 Country. Not had a tie-up so far in this ballgame. The only time the arrows come into the play is at the start of each quarter after the opening tap. Heitgerken on the right side for Melrose. Up top to Springer. Back to Piper. 3-pointer short off the rim. Rebound comes down to Joe Hemish. Spartans have owned the boards, both offensively and defensively. Rothstein on the dribble. Picked it up. Now goes right wing Hemish. Fakes a 3-pointer. Pass to Rothstein was almost tipped away by Linneman, but Pat came down with it. Right side Hemish, lob pass down low. Sherman, 5-footer, too hard off the rim. And a leaping rebound by the point guard, Scott Springer, for the Dutchman. Long pass, ahead too far, off Linneman's hand. Not a bounce. And the ball belongs to the Spartans on the turnover. The Dutchmen are only a short run away from being back in this ball game, but whenever they've started to get close, they've turned the ball over. Hemish, right wing. Left side now, Wayne Schreiner, 3 on the way. That won't go. Hemish, offensive foul on the backside rebound. Joe Hemish went up for the offensive rebound, but climbed the back of one of the Dutchmen. That's number 2 on Joe, 3rd team foul of the half on the Spartans. And an inbound for Melrose in the backcourt. Scott Springer, the senior point guard, across the timeline. Right wing, Heitkirchen, 3 on the way, long off the rim. Rebound, Wayne Schreiner on the long rebound. His pass ahead to Rothstein is stolen away by Springer, and then Pat committed to personal foul, trying to grab back for the basketball. That's Pat's first of the ball game, and his 4th. And you would classify that as a good foul because it kept Springer from breaking back the other way with the advantage. Checking back into the game now for Melrose is Jamie Reverman, replacing Dave Heitkirchen. So the starting 5 of Springer, Linneman, Reverman, Piper, and Atkinson are on the floor for the Dutchmen. Right wing, Reverman. Springer. Down low they go now to Reverman. Reverman, 1 dribble. Pass was tipped away by Rothstein, but coming down with it was Piper. Springer wheels it around. Now to Piper, down low. Shot off the glass and in. Todd Piper has 15, 65-51 Spartans. Pat Rothstein goes right wing for Hemish. Cross-court Schreiner. Outside the arc. Now he goes cross-court Hemish. High post Hondel drives it down the paint. Had it tipped off his leg, and the ball comes away with the Dutchman. Pass was tipped away by Wayne Schreiner out of bounds, but the Dutchman control in the backcourt. Wayne Schreiner, Scott Hondel, Doug Sherman, Pat Rothstein, and Joe Hemish on the floor for the Spartans. Springer across the timeline. Right wing, Linneman, 3 on the way. Count it. Looks like it might pop out, but it stayed down. First 3 of the ball, that is the 3rd 3 of the ball game and 14 points in all for Tom Linneman. And the Spartans want to talk about it now as the Dutchmen have closed to within 11. 5:57 remaining, 4th quarter. What once was a 18-point Spartan lead has dwindled to 11 at 65-54. We're back in 1/2 minute on 98 Country. Records are correct. Both teams now have taken only 1 timeout, so that means we could be in for a very strategically long 4th quarter if the Dutchmen remain in the ballgame. 65-54, Spartans on top. They inbound after the timeout. Rothstein against an extended zone. Right side Hemish, back up Rothstein. Left side Wayne Schreiner. Dribbles to the key area, now leaves it out up on top to Rothstein. Left side Schreiner on the wing to Rothstein. 1 dribble down the lane, running 12-footer, won't go. Rebound battled for, last touched by Melrose. Out of bounds as it was tipped away by Reverman. It'll be an inbound underneath the basket for the Spartans. Inbound it comes to Rothstein, launches a 3, won't go. Hondel got the rebound, 1 dribble, put back good. 24 points for Scott Hondel, although he had 20 at halftime. 67-54 Spartans. Springer, high post Piper, turnaround won't go, but he was fouled by Pat Rothstein. Grabbed him on the wrist. That is 2 on Rothstein. That'll be the, I believe, 6th team foul of the half on the Spartans. We'll wait till they post it. Jim Krause will come back in now, and he'll replace Joe Hemish. Also back in Scott Schreiner, so the starter's back on the floor. Dave Heitkirchen is back in for Melrose, replacing Russell Atkinson. And at the line shooting 2 will be Todd Piper, who has 15 points in the ballgame, and he misses the first free throw. To that point, the Dutchmen were 14 of 15 from the free throw line, now 14 of 16. Piper's second throw is nothing but net. He has 16 points, and it's a 12-point Spartan lead. Schreiner, pressure in the backcourt. Krause ahead to Scott Schreiner. still in the backcourt. Now he triggers it ahead to Wayne Schreiner, and he was fouled as he went up to get the ball in the key area by Jamie Reverman. This will be a 1-and-1. Actually, it won't be a 1-and-1 because Melrose has not committed enough fouls, I don't believe. The foul will be on Jamie Reverman, I believe. Let's see who they whistle it on. No, they're going to call Tom Linneman for the foul. It is Jamie Reverman, and that is his 4th, and that is the 5th. Now they're showing 5 on the board for Jamie Reverman. I have him for 4. And if that's wrong, I apologize. That is the 5th team foul on the Dutchman in the half, and that is indeed 5 personals on Jamie Reverman. So that's going to end his night with 5:10 remaining. He will finish with 8 points, but he played a pretty good floor game for the Dutchman. Jason Terway will check in for him, and it will be an inbound for the Spartans in the forecourt. Kraus up on top. He goes left wing to Wayne Schreiner. Back to Kraus, swinging around right side to Rothstein. Kraus, very aggressive zone. Rothstein, right wing. Cross court, Wayne Schreiner looking inside. Now goes high post, Scott Schreiner. Cross court for Hondel. One dribble, running 10-footer, 2 hard off the glass. Scott Schreiner, offensive rebound and in. Scott Schreiner has 11, most coming on the offensive board. 69-55 Spartans. Right wing it goes to Linneman. Linneman pass, tipped away Schreiner, and then he saved it underneath to Wayne Schreiner. Scott Schreiner with the play, but the ball was then taken away by Linneman, and he'll reset for the Dutchman. Linneman, left corner, Piper. Shot may have been partially blocked off the back rim. Linneman, offensive rebound, put back short off the rim, and the rebound to Wayne Schreiner. Dutchman got a couple of opportunities, couldn't put it home. And now Kraus comes into the forecourt with 4:05 remaining in the ballgame. Rostein's pass into the corner for Hondel was almost taken away from Rothstein. High post, Wayne Schreiner, 14-footer, nothing but air, and it bounced on the baseline. Out of bounds, it goes over to Melrose, and ROCORI takes a timeout. 3:58 remaining in the ballgame. In what's been a wild fourth quarter so far. 69-55 ROCORI. We'll keep it right here. Chance to tell you a little bit about this ball game. The Spartans had pushed at one time to a 20-point lead early in the second half at 49-29 after having an 18-point lead a couple of times in the first half before settling for a 17-point bulge at the intermission. In the second half, the Dutchmen have been as close as 11 points. Now the Spartans have pushed that lead back to 14, 69-55 with 3:58 remaining. Leading scorers in the ballgame, Scott Hondel leads the Spartans with 24. He had 20 at halftime. A dozen for Pat Rothstein and 11 for Scott Schreiner for the Spartans. For Melrose, Todd Piper has 16, 14 in the ballgame for Tom Linneman, and fouled out on the bench with 8 is Jamie Reverman. The Dutchman owned in the backcourt after the timeout. Springer, very compact 2-3 zone for the Spartans. Right corner Piper, Tim Dingman back in because he can fire the three. Right side Piper on the wing, up top to Springer. Stops, pops the three, good. Scott Springer, his first points of the ball game, and it's a tray, 69-58. Double team in the backcourt on Kraus. He's got to hurry. Gets it to Wayne Schreiner, and they trigger it ahead to Pat Rothstein on right wing. To Hondel, back to Rothstein, up Sons Kraus. Wayne Schreiner on the left wing, had the open three, elected not to take it. Comes out on the dribble. Kraus, left wing Wayne Schreiner. 3:15 remaining in the ball game. Rothstein fakes a three, goes back to Kraus. Very patient are the Spartans. Rothstein, right wing, back to Kraus. Left side to Wayne Schreiner. Cross court to Rothstein, back to Kraus, now to Rothstein as they work the perimeter. Scott Hondel was open in the high post, didn't get the ball to him. Rothstein's pass almost taken away, but Kraus comes away with it. Pushes it ahead. Rothstein, right side, three, good! Pat Rothstein with a three, 15 on the ball game for Pat, 72-58 Spartans. And now Melrose will take a timeout. 2:43 remaining. It's ROCORI 72, Melrose 58. We're back in 30 seconds on 98 Country. Say, Janine. After the ball game, I will not do a wrap, but I will talk to the coach after the game, so if you can maybe pop a cassette in, I will make it easier for John to cut up in the morning if he's got it on a cassette. Thanks. Emmett Keenan back with you from the ROCORI gym here on 98 Country. Janine Zeeser is our producer tonight. 2:43 remains in the fourth quarter. ROCORI leads at 72-58. Melrose has pushed to the brink of getting back in this ball game about 4 times here in the fourth quarter. They just haven't been able to get over the hump. They own the ball in the forecourt. They have their 3 shooters on the floor. And now Tim Dingman has sat back down. Springer up on top, goes left side to Tearaway. Back to Springer, left side to Linneman. His 3 long off the rim, and the rebound battled for, kicked out of bounds, last touch by the Dutchman. Josh Lindquist back in the game for the Spartans. It's Lindquist, Rothstein, Scott Schreiner, Wayne Schreiner, and Scott Hondel on the floor for the Spartans. Wayne Schreiner's pass tipped away, out of bounds, last touch by the Dutchman. Tom Linneman tried to save it on the far side and went about 5 rows into the stands. But to no avail, it's ROCORI basketball. Rothstein, backcourt. Clears himself of Linneman, then puts the ball on the floor and crosses the timeline. Rothstein spins after he picks up his dribble up top, goes to Scott Schreiner outside the arc. Now Wayne Schreiner, top of the key, right side Hondel. Dribbles it down the paint, runner from 10, rolls in, and he was fouled. Scott Hondel with a good move, started at the high post, took a couple of dribbles, went in the air, hung there, laid the shot nicely, soft off and in, and he'll get a free throw. Foul will go against Jason Tearaway. That's his second, and that's the 6th team foul now on the Dutchman. Free throw bounces around and then finally falls through as Hondel completes the 3-point play. His 27th point of the evening, and we had a little ball come out of the stands onto the floor. That's why play was whistled dead. 75-58 ROCORI with 2:07 remaining. After the ball game, we'll talk to one of the Spartan coaches, presumably Bob Brink, and name a Hardy's Hustler Award. I've got my ideas. I'm sure Bob will have his. Left wing it goes now down to the high post to Heitkert, and he was fouled as he received the pass. He went down and laid the ball in, but it won't count. Josh Lindquist picked up his second personal of the ball game. As now checking into the ball game for the Spartans will be John Hennon. He'll replace Pat Rothstein, who sits down with 15 points. Good scoring night and a good floor game for Rothstein. At the line to shoot 1-1 will be Dave Heitkirchen for the Dutchman. Free throw good. 7 points for the Dutchman 6-man. He'll get one more throw. Second free throw is also good. 75-60. And the Dutchman pressure in the backcourt. Wayne Schreiner double team. Now puts it on the floor. To the timeline. Ahead to Hondel. 2-on-1 with Lindquist. To Lindquist. Back to Hondel. Extra pass. And Hondel got the layup. Nice wraparound feed by Josh Lindquist. 29 for Scott Hondel. 77-60 with 1:35 remaining. Low post pass to Piper. Turn around from the baseline. Won't go. Hennon comes down with the rebound. Had trouble with it. Got it back. Had it tipped away. Now the Dutchman come away with it. And a layup for Linneman. Tom Linneman, 16. Long pass to Hondel. Oh, he tried to slam and missed it. Hit the rim. Rebound comes down. Scott Schreiner. And he's fouled on the putback. And the Spartan bench wants a foul as they thought Scott Hondel was undercut on the dunk. No call coming. They thought Hondel got undercut. Bob Brink is really upset, as is Gary Distel on the sideline. Schreiner got the rebound and then was fouled as he tried to put it back up, and Scott will go to the line to shoot 2. Let's see who the personal was on the Dutchman. We're going to get a substitution for the Spartans at the whistle as Mike Westerhouse will check in. He's coming in for the shooter, Scott Schreiner. Free throw is good. Schreiner has a dozen points. He's 2 of 2 from the free throw line. Second free throw is also good. He is a perfect 15 of 15 on the season from the free throw line. Changes now for the Spartans as Scott Hondel and Scott Schreiner will sit down. Mike Westerhouse and Doug Sherman will come into the ballgame. Mike seeing the floor for the first time tonight. 1:17 remaining, 79-62 Spartans. Right side it goes, Linneman. Springer up top. Pass was tipped away by Lindquist, and he almost saved it, but he stepped on the sideline. The Dutchman will maintain possession in the forecourt with 1:09 remaining. I will have to listen here. We have number 42 checking in for the Spartans, and I don't have a number 42 on the roster. So we'll have to wait for Jack Bell to tell us who that is. We got some discussion now as to whether or not he reported when he came on the floor, and of course if he didn't, that would be a technical foul on the Spartans. That'll be a bench technical on ROCORI because whoever number 42 is didn't report. Okay, so 42 was not in the official book either. And again, I have no idea who that is. We'll try to pick it up for you after the ball game. Brian Morrison. Okay, Brian Morrison is number 42. Our thanks to the folks at the official scorers table. Tom Linneman will shoot the technicals, and he made the first one. He'll shoot the second one. The Dutchman will maintain possession after the 2 made free throws, although they had the ball anyway. That's 18 points for Tom Linneman. He leads the Dutchman in scoring, 79-64 with 1:08 remaining. Springer up on top. Into the right corner, lob pass for Piper. Back out on top, Springer. Left wing, Linneman. I think they'd look for the 3. Cross-court pass tipped away by Lindquist, but it came down to Piper. Piper drives it in, stops, had the ball tipped out of his hands, got it right back. Ball loose on the floor. Now it goes to Springer. Springer, right corner, launches a 3. Short off the rim. Piper, rebound, put back short. Got his own rebound, put it back, and it was fouled by Sherman. Shot was rejected by Doug Sherman, but the foul called. Now we've got wholesale changes coming in for the Dutchman. Try to pick them up for you. Tim Dingman will check in. Scott Burscheid back in the game. They've been in before. Also checking in is Carl Gable. Also into the ball game is Fred Middendorf. And one more Dutchman will check in after the free throws by Todd Piper because that's who he's replacing. Piper's first free throw is good. He has 17 points on the ball game. Second free throw rolls out, and the rebound comes down to the Spartans. Josh Lindquist in the backcourt with 40 seconds remaining. Lindquist is fouled up on top by Tim Dingman. That is Dingman's first. That will mean free throws for Josh. And now we'll get the sub for the Dutchman. As checking in is Scott Rademacher. So I believe, let me just count them up here. 5, 8, 10, 14 Dutchmen in the ball game now on the night as Josh Lindquist is at the line to shoot 1-1. Free throw is short. Rebound is battled for and finally comes away to the Dutchman. Pushing it ahead up the floor is Burscheid. Burscheid on the dribble behind the back. Tries the baseline. Met by Morrison. 23 seconds left. Now drives the baseline again. Pops it out on the left side to Gable. His shot won't go, and Sherman got the rebound. Lost it out of bounds, though, and the ball belongs to the Dutchman with 15.6 seconds remaining. And the Spartans comfortably on top, 79-65. Left wing it goes. Firing the three is Rademacher, short off the rim. Nobody touched it on the rebound, out of bounds, and the ball goes over to the Spartans with 11.5 seconds remaining. A reminder, we'll close things out tonight with our Hardy's Hustler Award, brought to you by Hardy's Restaurant in Cold Spring. Hennon, ahead to Lindquist, driving layup, won't go. Rebound tapped out of bounds, last touch by the Dutchman. The Spartans will get the last shot with 3.8 remaining. Inbound underneath the basket, Lindquist will handle. Gets it right side, Hannon launches the three, long off the rim, at the buzzer, and that's the end of the ball game. With the final score, ROCORI 79, Melrose 65. We'll come back to talk about it in 90 seconds here on 98 Country.
Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you, Scott.
See you at more games.
I'll be here.
Friday evening, December 10th, Spartan host Rainer.
You gonna talk to me, man? Yeah. Okay, what I'll do is I'll take the Hardee's during the Hardee's Hustler, and then I'll take the minute after that. 14, 16, 18, 13, 15, 17, 2, 8, 6, 3. They finished with 65. If I were naming the Hardee's Hustler, I would name Scott Schrein. A good game on the court. We did Krause and Hondo last game. That makes a difference. 29, but he only... Well, back to the ROCORI gym here on 98 Country. Emmett Keenan with you. The ROCORI Spartans victorious tonight, now 2-0 on the non-conference season, beating a very feisty Melrose Dutchman team that refused to quit in this ball game by a score of 79-65. We're joined by assistant coach Gary Distel. In just a few moments, we'll name our Hardee's Hustler of the game, brought to you by Hardee's Restaurant on Highway 23 in Cold Spring. Well, Gary, I tell you what, there was a couple of times there early on in the fourth quarter where it looked like Melrose might get back in the ballgame.
Yeah, they're an extremely well-coached team, Emmett, and they just don't quit. They got a little bit hot. That number 20 Lindemann came out the second half and shot the ball the way we knew he could shoot them. And I tell you what, our zone really wasn't very good tonight. We certainly had a lot of holes in it.
They did a good job, I thought, too, of extending the zone to put pressure on the wings in the second half, and also about taking away the high post pass that you were trying to get to Scott Hondo.
Yeah, they did. We did some good things on offense. We went a little bit away from our 1-2-2 set, and then we got into a high post set, and they took that away real effectively in the second half.
And we talked a lot after the last ball game about Jim Krause. He played a good ball game, but I thought Pat Rostein stepped up and played a heck of a floor game for you, besides scoring 15 points tonight.
Yeah, Pat did a heck of a job of handling the defensive pressure on him. He's got excellent composure. He's a real smart ball player, and he just handles himself real well out there.
Gary, what happens in basketball games? I mean, you guys cruised to a 20-2 lead in this game. It looked like you absolutely owned the ball game. And then all of a sudden it was 24-18. You guys had let Melrose back in. Is that a lack of not knowing how to play when you're up that much because of the lack of experience on the ball club?
I think that's a lot of it, Emmett. And as you know, basketball is a game of momentum. And they just happened to get a few breaks. And again, our zone made a lot of mistakes tonight and allowed them to get a lot of good looks at the basket and a lot of second and third shots during that span. And we made some crucial fouls and allowed them back in the game.
Once again, a great offensive performance, though. Somebody would have told you a week ago that you were going to score 84 and 79 points in the first two ball games. You probably would have had them locked up somewhere.
I absolutely would have.
All right, we'll take a break. we're going to take this message from Hardee's Restaurant in Cold Spring. They bring us the Hardee's Hustler Award, and Gary and I will name the Hardee's Hustler when we come back after this message from Hardee's. What's up to you? I mean, we got 14 games, so Hondel's going to get it more than once. If you think he deserves it, we'll give it to him. Rothstein played a pretty good ball game.
Let's give it to Rothstein.
Okay. Back on 98 Country with ROCORI assistant coach Gary Distel. And Gary, we kind of talked a little bit before we went on with the interview and then during the break here about the Hardee's Hustler. We thought that Scott Schreiner played a pretty good ball game on the offensive boards. Scott Hondel obviously had a good offensive performance, but probably all around, both defensively, hopping out to stop the three-pointer, playing an excellent floor game from the wing and the point guard position and chipping in 15 points, was our Hardee's Hustler of the game, Pat Rothstein.
Yeah, Pat did do an outstanding job. One of Pat's biggest assets is his composure on the floor, and he did that extremely well tonight. And another one of his assets, he shoots the ball extremely well. And so with that combination, I think the Hardee's Hustler Award definitely has to go to Pat.
Okay, Gary, now you opened the conference season here Friday night. In a couple of respects, it's fortunate. Number one, you open at home. Number two, you open coming off two pretty good offensive performances. I'm sure that you would have liked to play better defense both evenings. But thirdly, you open against a team that is not expected to be in the elite in the Central Lakes Conference. That doesn't mean they're not a good basketball team. It just means they're not expected to be in the elite. Certainly better than opening with Wilmer, I would say that.
Well, yes and no. I think over the course of history, I think tradition makes a difference, and we've certainly had more success with Wilmer than we have with Brainerd. Brainerd's extremely well coached, and they do a very good job of taking you out of what you like to do as a team. So they're going to be a heck of a challenge for us, and we know we're going to have to play better defense, and we know we're going to have to rebound better, certainly better than we did against Painesville.
Okay, two questions for you. A lot of noise in this gym, a lot of distractions. Is it a real advantage to be playing at home?
Well, I think if you look at our record, yeah, definitely it is. Our kids get real fired up to play here. We always have great fan support. So, yeah, it's a definite advantage for us.
Now, let me talk about it from the coaching standpoint. I know Bob Brink tonight had to excuse himself. He and I were talking. He had to attend to a couple of athletic director duties prior to the game. Does that cause a major problem for Bob, having to worry about some of those little distractions here at home?
No, it's not a major problem. Most of the time, we have Steve Hoffman, who does a lot of those administrative tasks before and after games, and he does an outstanding job. But being the first home game, there's always a few kinks we got to work out, and usually, no, it's not a distraction for us.
Well, Gary, 2-0 is a good start. Again, you got to be happy with the scoring that you're producing right now, and hopefully it carries into the conference season Friday night against Brainerd.
Yeah, we're happy with our scoring. Like I said, we have to improve in other areas, but hey, we'll take 2-0 any day of the week.
All right, Gary, thanks a lot.
Thanks, Emmett.
Spartan assistant coach Gary Distel on our Hardee's Hustler Award goes tonight to Pat Rothstein. Great floor game, played good offense, good defense, chipped in 15 points for the Spartans. He'll get a certificate from Hardee's Restaurant in Cold Spring, along with some certificates for some free food, which I'm sure a young high school man will like very much. We'll come back to look at the scoring and wrap things up in 1 minute on 98 Country.
I know you're there, but that's all I know.
It's hard to pick me up?
Can't hear. No, you come through fine, I'm sure. It's overall.
Oh, in your earphones, yeah. Yeah, sometimes I can't tell. Sometimes I can't tell if I'm being heard, but they tell me back in the station it's fine. So.
And those ones don't block out the crowd either. The hero one is the one here. That's bad.
It's called old age, Bill. That's called old age, though.
I've had it for years, though. My old man now. Well, we'll never be look as young as Wayne here. I just don't get any younger looking.
High school basketball on 98 Country, WWJO St. Cloud, 98.1 FM for all of mid-Minnesota. A reminder to stay tuned as soon as we wrap things up. Janine Caesar as an hour-long special, the best of the Heartland's hottest Christmas country music coming your way on 98 Country. Let's check the score tonight as the Spartans beat the Melrose Dutchmen 79-65. For ROCORI, they were led, as they probably will be all year long, by junior post player Scott Hondel. He had 34 against Painesville, 29 tonight for ROCORI. He was teamed up with Pat Rostein, who had 15. Scott Schreiner, great offensive night on the boards especially, picking up 13 points for the Spartans. Wayne Schreiner had 9. Jim Krause with 5. 4 each for Joe Hemish and Doug Sherman. Josh Lindquist, John Hennon, Brian Morrison, and Mike Westerhouse played, but did not score for the Spartans. For the Melrose Dutchmen, they were led by Tom Linneman, who had 18 points, 17 for Todd Piper, then 8 points each for Dave Heitgerken and Jamie Reverman, who fouled out with 5:10 remaining in the ballgame. 6 points for Jason Terway, 3 each for Scott Springer and Tim Digman, and 2 points for Russell Atkinson. Scott Rademacher, Ben Sieben, Carl Gable, Fred Middendorf, and Scott Rademacher all played for the Melrose Dutchmen but did not score. This was the opening ball game of the year for the Dutchmen. They dropped to 0-1. Meantime, the Spartans moved to 2-0 with the win, and they will take on Brainerd in the Central Lakes Conference Thursday night here in Cold Spring. We'll be on the air with West Central Conference North basketball Thursday night from Painesville. The Painesville Bulldogs taking on the state's 7th-ranked Class A team, the Sartell Sabres. Our airtime about 7:30 from Painesville Thursday night. And then Friday night, we'll be right back here in Cold Spring for Brainerd and ROCORI Central Lakes Conference basketball about 7:15 for our pregame show Friday night here on 98 Country. Our thanks to all of our fine sponsors from the Cold Spring, Rockville, and Richmond area. As always, they make Spartan sports possible here on 98 Country. Thanks to our producer, Janine Caesar. Most of all, thank you for listening. Tonight's final, once again, ROCORI 79, Melrose 65. From Cold Spring, I'm Emmett Keenan. You all have a great evening. We'll see you Thursday night from Painesville.